Hello, everyone, and welcome to Trust Me, Bro. My name is Ryan. With me is Yakuza, and this is a show that talks about the latest news, culture, and collects on the Lens Protocol. Yakuza, how you doing?
GM, everyone. I'm feeling great, bro. Summer weather is back, so yeah, all good. Just enjoying the last sunset feelings from my garden. What about yourself? I'm not gonna
Oh,
ask you if you're right because I'm seeing you. You guys don't know, but Ryan and I we are watching each other. I'm gonna ask you instead, what are you drinking today? Let's go straight to the point.
all right, straight to the point. I'll say this is a big swing and a miss here. I really
Whoa,
tried. I
whoa,
really
whoa,
tried.
whoa.
We have a guest on today, and I tried to theme it. I tried to tie everything in. I created a cocktail with ChatGPT. It came up with something called the Aquatic Aria. And this has blue curacao and gin and lemon juice. All that's great. The problem is it's got egg white, and the egg white adds this funky smell to it. It kind of smells like the ocean, and boy, do I not love it. I'm trying to get through it. It's okay. So, to help me along with that, I got a dry hop lager. It's made in Vermont, but it's European style. So I'm trying to bridge the gap here, and I don't know. I'm just a mess today. It's not working out. What are you drinking?
So you're having a beer and a cocktail. That's
Yeah.
good. So everything is lined up for a great show. So today I decided to level up and I went back to my first roots here in Czech Republic. So I went on and I grabbed Radegast beer. It's a premium lager from the eastern part of Czech Republic. Radegast, just like some historic lesson, it's a tribute. It was a Slavic god for the Eastern Baltic Slavic tribes. It's also a mountain. It's a region in Eastern Czech Republic near the Polish border. I lived there near the Radegast Mountains before moving to Prague, and I visited the mountain several times for snowboarding and beer. And actually, they do also have a statue that is also the logo for the beer, the Radegast. So yeah, it's a different one. It's lighter, but it's tasty. It's just different because it's made from that region. So it's also good. Yeah, I like it. Yeah,
Yeah. That's what I wish I was drinking right now.
you need to come visit me, bro. So we've got a lot of stuff to go through.
Yeah. On the show today, we have Carla Monni from Lensvoice, and she's running a competition like The Voice. So we're very excited to hear about that. Very excited to hear what kind of competition this is because there's definitely some talent in there. I see the judges listed and I see the hosts, and there's definitely a lot of talent. And I'm dying to know what the details are. So that's going to be fun. What else do we have?
Other than that, today we're going to talk about Tako Protocol, Lens Copilot. So we're going to touch base in some AI stuff. Of course, we want also to highlight the Orb devs community. Mint on Zora comes to Lens. Then we are going to announce the winner of the Trusted Talent Week 2. And then we decide to go through some of most engaged posts of the week. We're going to touch base in some artists and some random nice posts from some of the OGs from the Lens team. We are also going to take a sneak peek of a game, LensJump. And then, last but not least, we're going to have our guest Carla on stage to talk us through what's going on with Lensvoice.
Sounds great. Let's get into it. First up, we have something about Tako Protocol.
Tako Protocol is some fresh new protocol that I heard from them first time last week during the developer showcase Zoom call with Nader. So I was in this call. So Tako Protocol, they just secured a 2 million investment in its pre-seed round. And it caught my attention because their motto, like their slogan is making the shift from platform as a curator to user as a curator. And I was like, what the hell is going on here? So actually what Taco protocol is building, they are building an open recommendation protocol. So actually, basically they are building a decentralized recommendation engine in the Web3 social network. So at the moment in the Web2 applications on platforms like TikTok, YouTube, whatever, Instagram, you get the recommendations from the content from an algorithm. So these recommendations are typically made by complex algorithms built by these big corporations and they own it. So they collect your data and they then generate the algo that they may think is the right stuff for you to look into it. And they try to predict what you might like based on your past activity, but sometimes it doesn't make any fucking sense. If I look into my Instagram algo, for instance, like, what the fuck, what's going on here? So yeah, it's based on what the companies are trying to build and to where they want to drive the attention to, because they have to sell projects and whatever. And sometimes also they want to drive attention to certain kind of topics. So Tako Protocol's approach, it's changed the game. They are creating a recommendation system, but it's not controlled by any company. Instead, it's a decentralized one, which means that it's not just these algorithms making decisions, it's the people who use the protocol. So in this system, basically you're going to have two rows, bidders and curators. So first you need to log into the platform. At the moment, it's just like on beta phase. I tried to jump in, but not possible. So the bidder, these are like the content creators or the advisors. They can create bids for proposal. Let's say there's a nice, cool content and I want it to be seen by these types of people. So they specify how much they are willing to pay for this recommendation. So they are going to pay some fee to highlight this content based on what these people are already seeing in the Web3 platforms to what they can see on chain. And then we've got the curator. These are like the judges. So the bidders, they placed the proposals to the curators, and then the curators, they look and they decide whether they should recommend them to the other users or not. So it's somehow there's a middleman decision, but at least it's not the company. If they do that, the people then will highlight this content. They can then earn rewards for that good judgment. So if that kind of content will be successful, people who applied for it or who recommend it, they are going to get some rewards. So why do you think that taco matters? Do you have any ideas?
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious that everything that they're trying to do, I think in 10 years, we'll just be doing this stuff. You'll be paying your peers for advertising, using AI to figure out what people are talking about, doing sentiment analysis and automatic tagging and all kinds of stuff that it all makes sense. But I will point back to 1995. There was a company called Vermeer. Vermeer made Front Page, and they also made something called Personal Web Server. And Front Page was revolutionary because you could make a web page or actually a whole website just by editing what looked like a Word document. And that had never been done before, really. And you could have, in 1995, you could have seen the explosion of the internet. Everybody's adopting this new technology and everybody's signing up. America Online is going crazy. And you could have looked at this and said, oh, wow, this is clearly going to be the big app because everybody needs a website. Everybody needs a web server. And what really happened was 3 months later, Microsoft buys it, puts it into Office, and it just becomes a feature that every Office user had it. But then every other app copied these features too. And today we don't even talk about it because you could go to Wix or you could go to Squarespace or Shopify. You can just build a website in a web browser today. Right. And so when I look at stuff like this, I'm very excited. I'm very glad that they're building this, but I don't look at it like, oh, Taco is the winner. It's too new. It's too tough to tell. And I feel like directionally they're right. And it's just tough to tell if every app is going to copy them, if every app is going to adopt them, or if it's somewhere in between. I like the fact that it's decentralized and it's not owned by one massive corporation, because then that means that there is the possibility that this could just last for a really long time. So it's very interesting. I'm glad they're doing it. And it was funny because they reached out to me last night just after I had finished reading. They have a whole bunch of blog posts and I had just finished reading all of them. And they're like, hey, we'd like to invite you to, it was just like weird timing. I'm like, yeah, I just read everything. I'm too fried right now, but thank you. And it was just funny because we were going to talk about them anyway. And then they ended up messaging me last night. But yes, it's very interesting. I hope more people build what they're building too.
I wanted to bring this up because they are still building, and yeah, they were one of the selected projects to be able to talk on Nader's meeting. So I think if Nader believes them, I think it's something that we should keep an eye on it. So
Oh yeah.
it's still not possible to try it out, but anyone on here, just go there and try to get whitelisted like I've done. And then when they will be ready to test, you can give it a play. So in a nutshell, what Taco is doing is just like they are trying to change the game. And instead of your data is going to be used by corporate companies, it's going to be treated decentralized, and hopefully that the content will change, and also what we are going to see and all the recommendations that we are going to see in Web3 platforms is going to be curated for what you want to see and not for what the company wants you to see or to sell it. So let's see if they are going to make the social media more user driven, transparent, and rewarding. I believe so. I was a little bit afraid to touch based on this one because they're still too green, let's say. But yeah, I think we are so early here. So just wanted to give a shout out to them and make everyone aware that, yeah, this is coming and keep an eye on it.
They have partnered with everybody. Like they're
Yeah, man.
everywhere. They're well on their way. And what I have pinned in the space is Nico Capital did a thing where
Exactly.
any reader could collect a post, and basically he would borrow 5 Matic and then he would pay you back interest. And they quoted saying that he used their product. I don't know what the details there are, but that's interesting. I'm paying attention.
I'm also in touch with Nico Capital. He's working directly with Tako Protocol. So he's maybe, I think soon we're going to get him in the show to explain a little bit more some proper use cases when the protocol is going to be a little bit more mature. So
Yeah, I'm intrigued by that for sure. I'd love to
stick with
talk to him.
us.
All right, next up, this is Lens Copilot. Lens Copilot is like a chat GPT for Lens. It's made by RSS3. And this is very similar to what Jesse Fries is doing with Fries GPT. They are looking for beta testers. All you have to do is collect the post before September 31st, and that you can get in there and test it out. And what they're doing is they're collecting what people are saying. So assume that everything you type in there is being recorded and looked at. I've definitely noticed from personal use, Fries GPT is currently better. I get frustrated a little bit right now with this Copilot because it's not always looking directly at the feed like I want it to. But that's why they're doing this beta test, because they want questions like the ones I'm submitting. And hopefully all of you go in there and join and start using it, because more data is always more better. So yeah, it's going to be so exciting. Like I said last time, 6 months from now or a year from now, when we can just start having a conversation with the feed as if it's like another one of our friends, that's going to be
Yeah.
really cool. So I'm super excited for that. Everyone should go check it out, collect it. Have you tried it out yet?
Yeah, I do need to reach them out because I'm a little bit upset with them. I
Uh-oh.
just try to do some researches. I try to check your feed. What's Ryan posting recently? It didn't come up with so much details, and the worst, it didn't recognize my profile. I don't know if
Oh,
it got confused because I had already 3 handles. Actually, I just literally I pasted my actual Ryan's handle, and oh, sorry, we don't know anything about I am the real Yakuza. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
haven't
it's
tried
growing
yet
pains.
Price GPT, but I've heard from the feedback that it works quite well. So yeah, this one I was a little bit upset, not only because they couldn't find me, but also because it's like quite, I don't know, it's Web 1.5. Just chatting and messaging. It reminds me the times of Mirk. I don't know if
Yeah, yeah,
anyone
yeah.
here is so old to know what Mirk is, but I was like, not nice. But yeah, it's something that they are developing. And yeah, let's see.
All right. Moving on.
Yeah. Orb released the developers community, among others. This was not the first one, but as we all know, the devs are the guys who are pushing and moving things forward. They are the guys that are working there, developing all the stuff that then we are jump in and creating and using it. So communities, I'm quite excited about that. This is just like the Web3 apps evolution. Actually, they've got like around 260 members. And I'm fired up with this because the need to create communities for a niche within a protocol is a must have and a good way to keep building openly. And if you're part of the community, you don't need to be in the community chat to get the messages or the posts that are posted there. They'll come up in your normal Lens feed, which is quite interesting. If we go and compare these to forums or to Discord channels, for instance, when I was launching the Web3 Academy now, there was like everybody wanted to jump in. We've got the writers, we had the devs, the marketing, and in Discord, you need to create these channels. And even though that you can be like tagged going on there, you don't see it. So the advantage in our communities is you don't need to be in the community chat to understand what's going on there. And if you want to get into some more details, you just jump in there and you see what the guys are cooking and try to understand the nerdy language with all the respect. Yeah.
When you post in an Orb community, you have the option to make it private or public.
Yeah.
And that's definitely huge because then you can make sure that the right audiences are seeing it. And like you said, I can post to a photographer's community. And that way I know my photographer friends are seeing it, but also people who aren't in the community. Maybe I want certain things to be fully public. And so then people will see it and go, wow, that's interesting. I had no idea about the community at all, but I still got
Yeah.
to see your work. So I think that's
Yeah.
huge.
For instance, there was this diverse headquarters app created, but to post from there, they had also some kind of groups like the Lens Fit and whatever. But you need to get out and access to a different app, so you could not post it directly from Orb, Lenster, and or Buttrfly, which are the main ones. So yeah, I think this is a bit more helpful. And what I think it's going to happen here, these guys, these devs, they are going to be there pushing each other and they'll come up with faster solutions, better. They're going to cooperate and they're going to keep building openly. And in the past, it was not like that. And I can give you just one example. So I got accepted to the community. And yeah, I was struggling here with an issue for my other project that I wanted to summarize Twitter Spaces, and I was like, okay, I couldn't find it because I didn't have subtitles. So let's try Devs Community. So I went on there and I just asked publicly that I needed the help for an AI tool to summarize spaces. And the first comment that came on from Ruthless, but that I understood that was a joke, it was like, mate, not in the scope of the sprint, move to backlog. And I was like, what the hell? So yeah, it's a really curated information, which is nice for them. We can also access it. However, the outcome is that someone then replied to me with an API and an AI tool built by them that would let me do what I was trying to do. Then I managed it somehow to do this task. However, I need to go back to this person, try to find the chat and try to use the tool because it just sent me everything. Try it out. It's here. If you need help, come back to me. So that's the perfect use case. It's not only for devs, it's for all the community. So yeah, huge shout out to Nalish to launching all these communities. And I think it's going to be really important for all the Web2 apps evolution.
Yeah, the real big thing here is going to be when you can take Orb communities to other apps. So, like that Diverse HQ, it looks like a great app. I've tried it a little bit, but I haven't had too much success with it. But I think it would be great if you can take an Orb community and just meet your whole community over there. And then you can take it to a music app and you can take it to a photography app and all that kind of stuff. So, I think that's probably where they're going with it because they're describing it as a protocol. And regardless, it's just an NFT with other NFTs. Even if they didn't want you to be able to do that, you could still do it. So I think that's where we're going to see that go. So yeah, that's great that we finally have a developers community. And we're seeing more and more explode over there with new communities being created. And I think Lens version 2, we're going to see that accelerate even more. So moving on, here is the first instance I saw of a Zora Mint button on a Lenster post. Claire Mirren had reposted something from Ellie Pritz. She's a great artist, and she has a piece that's over on Zora. And apparently Lenster has now integrated, which is what is promised in Lens version 2, external mint button. We also saw a couple other people trying this out. Hugo created something over there for the US Open tennis, and same thing. It worked very well for him. I got myself one of those, and I think we're right on the edge of something brand new here. This is very exciting that it works. It's nice to see. And I think people who are outside of our community are not aware of what's about to happen. Yogans, he's the creator of Lenster. He's spearheading the whole development there. He put up this post asking if people like it, and it's overwhelming. It's 97.5% of the votes. 1,200 people voted, yes, we love it. This is very exciting to see. It's the first time I saw external contracts in Lens, and it's on a completely different chain, and that's really great. I think we're in for an exciting couple months here.
So basically, you'll be able to edit Zora NFT just by hitting a button on Lens.
Yeah, it's a completely different app, completely different chain. It's over on Zora. And all they had to do, I think, which it looks like they just had to post a link to it, and the mint button shows up natively. When you hit the button, it takes you to that page. It doesn't directly mint the thing. It takes you over there, and then you can find out all the information. Like, I still needed to bridge some money over to Zora. It's not literally just like you're executing on something that you don't know. You are taken to the page and you know exactly what's going on. So I think that's a very good way of handling that.
Yeah, man. It's all the features that are coming on Lens, like weekly, it's just like crazy. I noticed that when I was away 1.5 week for holidays, and I came back and was like, what the hell? It's like
Yeah.
the pace is crazy. But yeah, it's good. It's good. It's pushing us forward. So we have reached the Trusted Talent Week 2 results. First of all, I think we would like to thank everyone who had time to come up and make these suggestions. We believe that the mechanism right now it's not yet the right one fine-tuned, so you need to come up and find the post, paste the link for the post. And yeah, it's not the right one. We are going to try to make it smoother. However, we still had these 13 plus suggestions. And the winner is one post suggested by Alice. So the winner is Easty. He made a cover art for the Getting Started in Lens post in August. This post got 12 likes. And luckily, and I think now everyone understood better how it works. We were already available to collect the post from Alice
Yeah.
with the art from Easty. So we already collected it, and we're going to add Easty's art to our gallery. It should be already there. So just to mention, yeah, I would like also to give a shout out to Vinod for his suggestion. He suggested Lana. The post got second place with 9 likes. It was also still available. Then Ifan, a really amazing post from Andres Briseno with 7 likes, still also available. Chaotic Monk, he just shielded us with so many nice posts. The most liked one from Chaotic was on first place. One amazing post from Zoe with 6 likes. So yeah, I think we are in the right way. I think we need to maybe dive a little bit better how we are going to make this easier for people rather than just come and need to find a post.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out how to build an app for this. If anyone would like to help out with that, man, would we love that. But yeah, I think ultimately this needs to turn into like an app and do some other things. This is just early days. We're just trying to figure it out, trying to collect people's art and give them a shout out. And first of all, Alice puts out these great welcome to Lens posts every month. This is such a great post in itself. And every month she asks for art from the community to use as the cover for that Easty is a fantastic artist. Definitely,
I love it.
if anyone hasn't checked him out, I don't know how that's possible, but definitely check him out. He does great work. And I have to say, what Alice did, she's posting her own post. I would love to see more people do that. If Chaotic Monk is posting his own post, go for it. I would love for photographers and artists to just shill their
Promote
thing and
yourself.
promote it.
Yeah.
Totally.
I've done that 2 times with our shows to Alice. And yeah, you know what? What triggered me to challenge you to have this adventure to jump in trying to create a podcast was Alice's post because yeah, it's amazing. And what my idea was like, this is amazing post, but it should be vocalized. I want to give a huge shout out to Alice for always inspiring me, and I think it's general. And yeah,
He's the best.
just to say that to trust me, this show we didn't even have a name. Let's try to do something like a podcast or a live spaces, and then we'll see what's based on our posts. So huge shout out to Alice.
And everybody who
Next.
voted and donated and everything, all your information,
you.
it's all in the galleries. We have a gallery at Gallery SO, and we have it at Collects, and we'll be doing more. If you vote, you get recognized. If you donate, you get recognized. If you nominate it, you get recognized. And so far for week 1 and 2, Alice has nominated both winning posts.
Yeah. Next
up, you wanted to highlight Josiah, which I am fully on board with. This guy,
I'm fired.
Great work.
So if you guys are not following Josiah, he's just an amazing creative artist. He is well known for his great humor and unique and passion for wall art, mainly in murals. And he's really a nice person on Lens. He's quite active most of the time. He's always replying, GMing everyone. He's not only posting about wall art and murals. This is what caught my attention because I'm a huge fan of graffitis and murals as I was raised and lived in this kind of culture. And when I first saw his post, I was like, wow, this is unique on Lens. I haven't seen any kind of profile posting this kind of art. And I asked him even yesterday, are you taking these pictures? And he was like, nah, this is the artist. I'm just like, I love the art. So I'm just sharing it. So yeah, he's not taking the pictures. He's quite okay with that, but he's just sharing and he's picking up the baton and he's just like an amazing artist, not only with murals. If you guys seen what he's posting about his friends making this art with some stones and rocks at the beach. Yeah, he's quite innovative and friendly person on Lens. And I think we can just call him that
He's a great guy.
He's a great guy and a great bro.
He's been in spaces. He's curating some great art. I would love to talk to him because I don't know what he creates. I don't know if he does anything else, but I've just seen him curating and he's very active in spaces. So yeah, he's a great follow. I would definitely encourage anyone who's not following him, take a look at his feed and give him a follow. He's great. I feel like tons of people have seen this, but Nader, who's the head of Lens Developer Relations, he took a picture from a hot air balloon 2 days ago. And it's just it's such a great photo. It's like dozens of hot air balloons in Mexico. And I can't tell if it's sunrise or sunset, but it's overlooking this pyramid. And it just reminded me of growing up. There were always like hot air balloons nearby. One of my neighbors had one. I've had one crash land like almost in our yard and then it ended up crashing like a couple houses away. As a kid, I almost had a chance to go up one and it just never happened because my parents very rightfully thought I was too young for it. But yeah, I thought this was just a great picture. I know tons of people have seen it. Everyone follows Nader and rightfully so. But yeah, this is just a cool, very nice, serene picture. Took me back to my childhood there a little bit. And kind of a nice reminder to me, I should get up there. I should do something like this. It's been a long time. Like I said, back in my childhood, I wanted to do it and just never happened.
Actually, I went to Slovakia, to Bratislava, and I was just driving from one city to another. I was coming back to Bratislava and I saw some balloons in the sky and oh, so nice. And we were driving towards them. And you know what? Then I went I reached the place, the Airbnb where I was staying, and it was like a rooftop. So these ones that we've got the windows on the ceiling, and I was just like in my living room, and I just look at the window, and the balloon was just like passing by and landing next to the place where I was staying. I never tried it, but yeah, seeing this post from Nader, it fired me up to give it a go, and yeah, I would like to try it.
All right, next up, we're going to talk about this maybe in the next week or two, but I've been beta testing the brand new game called LensJump. And oh my God, I am so happy with this game. This is really well done. This is a jumping game, and they've made it social enough so that as soon as you join, you decide which team you're on. And like right now, you can choose red or blue. And that way, it's a competition that, you have a team with you, but it's also personal. So even though I'm not ever in first place, like I'm usually like fifth or third or whatever. Like
I've heard that you've got a good teammate, and actually, she's in the call, Mary.
yeah, I can see Mary like just came out of nowhere and hit top of the charts today with the high score. And like I was a little mad because I thought today was my day, but it was like she's still on my team, so I'm still happy. And so I think they're nailing a lot of things with the gameplay of this. And then, like I said, when this launches officially, we'll talk about it more. But there are artists who are making the art, making the elements to the game. Mary's one of them, and it's really cool to be able to customize your game with some of your favorite artists' artwork. So it's going to launch soon, and I think it's really going to take off.
So from one competition to another, last week we see that Web3 is not about competition, it's about partnership. But yeah, it's also, this is just for fun. We were not competing to be the best, like in terms of developing stuff. It's just like fun. It's part of all the social apps. So we're going to have Carla Monni talking us through what's going on with Lensvoice, and maybe we can give her the stage. And I want to practice my Italian, so ciao bella, benvenuta al show, come stai?
Buonasera, buonasera, tutto bene, grazie. Voi come
Buonasera.
siete? Hi everyone. I'm very good, thank you. Just came out of the water now, came back to human form to talk with you.
So, what can I ask just real quick? First of all, thank you for being here, but also, what is the mermaid thing about? I see you responding to everybody as a mermaid, and I think it's hysterical. But what is it? Why? Or what is going on here? You made me create a cocktail that is not good, and I'm suffering here. So what is this about?
Well, if you put egg white in a cocktail, I mean, something, yeah.
I know I should have used common sense.
Very quickly, it started as a joke, it continues as a lifestyle. It's more a representation of women in reality, a little bit in this society. Like, it's the idea of these all powerful women that are all praised everywhere, but they don't really exist in a way. Like, it's very hard to find in real life. So I think that there is still a sense of alienation towards that. So recalling this idea of the magical creature has, a little bit like mermaid, something mysterious and fascinating, but that everyone talks about mermaids since the beginning of time, and no one has ever seen a mermaid. And I feel that, starting with women, but I think that any one of us is a little bit of a mermaid inside, or has this mermaid side, that wants to reach and achieve, but it's hard to see.
What is Lens Voice? I've seen you post who the host is, Jesse Fries. Seen you
Yeah.
post the judges. What is it? What's going on here?
Lensvoice is the first singing talent competition on Lens. It's meant to really take the ecosystem and make everyone sing. It's really meant for the fun and to put everyone together in something light. I'm actually very happy because all the apps are collaborating in a way or another, and everyone has been very kind in their response. This is a little bit also what really a sign that is actually going in the right way. So we are looking for this next Lens superstar, and to judge them, will be, of course, not a mermaid, even if well, mermaids are quite good singer, but it's just a myth I'm telling you. There will be actual talents like Christina, for example, Christina Spiney. This is a very talented musician.
Is Christina going to participate, or is Christina and James going to be like some kind of juries?
They will be our judges. So they will actually be the ones that will analyze, voice, performance, and so together with Ruthless, that is also a multi-artist, is a multi-talented guy. And they will also guide the selected singers towards the competition, and they will help them with feedback and help them improve in their singing skills, which I find very, very cool. So it's not going to be just competing, but it's also like growing together.
So Christina and James are going to be acting like some kind of mentors, yeah?
Exactly. So basically, how it works is that actually we just opened the audition today. The beginning will do in this month, we will collect auditions. So the idea is that we put a Dropbox link where people can upload their voice. Just it can be an audio or it can be a video if they're comfortable showing their faces. So they don't have to show their faces. But what they don't really have to do is to send audios that are AI modified or generated or with any sort of auto tune. So especially for the beginning, we're looking for raw voice. They can have some music as a background if they like, but the idea is something simple. We just want to listen how talented you guys are. And then after the selection, the jury, Christina, James, and Ruthless, because they are the design ones, they will select a group of people, and from them we will create four teams, basically. So Christina will have his own team, Ruthless will have his own, James will have his own, and I will have my own. But my role there is as a judge, but I will be a user representative judge. So during the competition, the audience vote will be 40% of the actual final decision, while the other juries will have the 20%. So what I'll do is that I will collect users' vote and users' opinion about the contestants, and I will make sure that they are represented in the competition.
How did you come up with this idea?
Oh, it started really as a joke. Like, I'm a Faber contributor and really a Faverian since the beginning of times. And inside Faber, we have a lot of in-app campaigns that can allow people to have fun and talk with each other and win also Faber points and so. So one of the guys that is called Madness, pardon my Italian accent, has started an hashtag called Do Me a Favor. But this was really like a joke and something that was meant to die. And then me and Ruthless under the comment started replying. And I actually sent a video of me singing Nel blu dipinto di blu, like a very traditional Italian song as a joke. But then one of the user called Diogor, that is actually an ex-professional opera singer, sent a video of him actually singing, but like Figaro, like properly sung. So we said, like, I want to in my team. And then from that, we started basically putting idea together. But it was really like started as a joke. But I'm very happy that it's continuing.
You know what? There was a joke when there was this Eurovision contest that actual Alice started to ask, okay, when Lens Eurovision? And I think it started to be built here. So did I understand well that you are going also to sing, or do you have any experience with making music?
Well, I am a professional bathroom singer, if that counts. In the shower, I give my best, and when I'm baking bread as well. But I mean, when I was younger, I was singing in a sort of punkish band, and so. But it was something that, of course, wasn't meant to be my destiny. So I'm a music lover and a neighbor molester. That's exactly what I am.
So anyone can participate, right?
Anyone, yes. Actually, we're actually looking for people that possibly are not professional yet. Of course, they are not excluded. we have another idea in mind for the professional singers. At the moment, we're actually recruiting because the whole point of doing this is really to come together and promote each other and help each other. And so, for example, for the professional singers, what we had in mind is that find some of them that they are willing to promote their songs and let us use the song as cover during the whole competition. Of course, there will not be any user that is monetary.
Can you talk about real quick the prizes here in terms of like what Favor is sponsoring? And
Yes, we have actually, so far the price is divided in three parts. Actually, there is one plus. This is going to come up a little bit later. The first, which I think is the coolest, is that the user will have the possibility to produce a proper professional song helped by Christina and James and Ruthless. So they can actually create something that is actually professional and they can use it to start promoting themselves or making money out of it or so. The second part is the favor points. So favor is sponsoring us in this. So we have 10,000 favor points for the first place, 7,500 for second, 5,000 for third. From fourth place to 10th place, we have 1,000 favor points each, and any other person that has participated will get 100 favor points, which I think is super nice from them. And then the last is the thematic. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna create collectible posts so people can collect and chip in. And basically, at the end of the whole experience, we will share the total amount of matics that we collected, and we will split into the 40% to the first place, 35% to the second place, and 25% to the third place. That, of course, will depend by how many people are going to collect, but I'm sure it's going to be worth it because I'm really expecting very good and collectible worthy exhibitions. Then we have our super host, yes, Jessie, our beautiful glossy fry queen that will make this even more entertaining. And actually, because you were talking about Fry's GPT, in reality, Fry's GPT Bestie is also one of the helpers in the Lensvoice because we are creating all the posts that you see, all the text are made by Fry GPT.
Let me go back to the favor points. So, for instance, I'm not in favor, and probably some people here in the call is not in favor, and then our listeners from the podcast are not in favor. So, can you give us just a little explanation how these points work and what's the utility of these points on favor?
Yes, of course. So favor points are basically a reward system mechanism in favor. So favor is based on the concept of earn to share. So everything you post, if it's liked by people, you're gonna get rewarded. The favor points are needed both to create credibility in the app and that visibility. So the more you have, the more you gain visibility and so they will be needed actually very, very soon because it's happening right now. They could be swapped into the governance token of the app, which at the moment people could start through Swissboard to buy some little allocations. And so possibly in the very, very near future, you could actually basically monetize with real money because potentially you're going to be able to swap this favor token with actual currencies that then you can convert into.
and is there a timeline? Are you looking for this to be like just a 1 month thing, or is this open ended?
Yes, so now starting today, we will go until the 5th of October. So we're going to have only 1 month. We will collect the auditions. So we will see how many people and we'll start and we will create the teams. And then after that, we will have 3 weeks where the
Awesome.
whole thing will happen. So
Good.
there will be some competition among the contestants that will be once a week.
It's an impressive initiative that you're taking on here. Really, we wish you well. This is
Thank you
just
so much.
already to just what you've accomplished. And we really look forward to seeing how this plays out, and we'll be there supporting. And we hope to have you back soon. We thank you very much for coming up and telling us about
Thank
it
you
today.
so much. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be fun. I'm very, very positive and grateful, especially because people are willing to make this happen. And when the community wants it to happen, then it's gonna happen and it's gonna be very, very fun. And we hope really that we're gonna be able to give an actual chance to someone to make their dreams come true.
Absolutely. That's really nice to the community. Thanks for coming in from my side.
Thanks to Carla for coming up and explaining Lensvoice. We wish her well and the whole crew there well. And we'd love to have anybody back to talk about results.
Yeah. Thanks once again for showing up and for all the support. And see you in 1 week and see you also on Lens.
Bye, everybody.
Bye bye. Thank you so much.
Cheers.